What is going on with everybody, man? So it is April 7th, 9:19 a.m. at the start of this recording, or the stream rather. And I wanted to talk a little bit before we get into the football chat. Uh, just give the introduction, what's going to be going on. So the background, I got matcha Pokemon playing, some lo-fi beats, some battle game music, some route music that we've all known to come and love in the Pokemon series. Um, like I mentioned yesterday, I was having a real decider on when I started my YouTube channel what I was going to start doing, whether it was going to be gaming or whether it was going to be sports, specifically soccer, football, and maybe other sports because I am well versed in other sports, honestly. But when it came to the final decision on what I wanted to do, it was obviously going to be Chelsea because it's my pride and joy. And I'll talk about them even when they're in the dumps. Like, it brings a smile on my face regardless of what's going on at the club. And that's what I think is most important. You do this content because it makes you happy. Even though the club right now is in the state of disarray, players want out, I still look forward to Chelsea games every single weekend because it is 2 hours where I can escape from reality and just watch what has brought me joy for the past 20 years. But enough of the soft emotional shit, bro. We're here to talk about the Champions League. We're here to talk about Garnacho is looking now like he's going to be sold in the summer, like I've been mentioning, and a lot of other people have been mentioning. Chelsea's away kit has also been leaked as well for next season, along with the supposed home kit that João Pedro. What's up? What's up, bro? How's your morning going, brother? Um, the home kit as well also leaked João Pedro. It has a big ass Chelsea badge on like the stomach portion of the jersey, which I'm not a fan of. If they take that off, then hey man, I'll be here probably rocking that jersey next season, but I won't be buying it from the mega store. Don't buy anything off of that mega store, guys, because we ain't trying to put money in blue coat pockets here. But we're gonna go ahead, man, and dive into actually let's go ahead and talk about this away kit first, bro. For next season, it's supposedly leaked. Um, I want to know how people really feel about this jersey for next season, man. I mean, it reminds me of PSG, bro, if I'm being honest. Now, is that a bad thing? Not really, because PSG over the years, especially since the Jordan brand has really gone on their jerseys and has been sponsoring them, they've had some pretty clean jerseys. The jerseys they wore at the bridge when they beat us 3-0 were absolutely clean, bro. Those are some of the cleanest jerseys I've seen in the past 5 years. And there's been some spectacular jerseys out there, but even Chelsea have had a few. I think their away kit this season is very nice. I think their third kit is the best third kit they've had in the past 10 to 15 years. The old CFC logo, you have the Club World Cup badge, even though they're not justifying wearing that badge whatsoever, bro. What's your UCL prediction for today? I'm going to actually get into that in a little bit, but if I can give you I did it yesterday after you actually left the stream, bro. I said Bayern Munich. I think for today's game, actually, I need to see who plays today. I know Arsenal play today, but I think there's another game on today, right? Let me go ahead and look real quick. Champions League. Real Madrid and Bayern are today, and Sporting and Arsenal. So if we're going to touch on Real Madrid and Bayern, I mean, I said yesterday that if Real Madrid show up in the way they showed up against Man City, not the way they showed up this past week, and the way they showed up against Man City, they have a shot at beating Bayern Munich. But I think Bayern Munich are on a mission. I think Harry Kane specifically is on a mission to capitalize on a possibility of winning the Champions League, the Bundesliga. And I've said this, Harry Kane has a possibility of winning the Ballon d'Or this season if he wins the Champions League and England win the World Cup. Like, you couldn't tell me there's another player in the world that would deserve the Ballon d'Or over Harry Kane. Maybe Mbappe if France get to the final, Real Madrid win the Champions League and the World Cup. But I think it's Harry Kane's to lose this season if for that. But for today's game, I do have Real Madrid beating Bayern Munich, but Bayern Munich will score. I think they'll score a couple times, maybe even 3. I think this game, Real Madrid versus Bayern, is going to be very, very open at the Bernabeu. I think Real Madrid beat them 3-2, but when it gets back to Munich, I think Munich walk all over them. So that's my prediction there. Sporting versus Arsenal. I've been saying I don't think Arsenal are going to get anything out of this game. I think they're going to lose this game. It's not going to be a heavy scoreline, but Sporting are going to frustrate them enough to get the win today. I think Sporting beat them 2-0. I think Sporting beat Arsenal 2-0, and Arsenal have it all to do going back to London, where I think Sporting are not going to make it easy on them because Arsenal have an important game at the weekend against Bournemouth where they can't drop points, and Man City also have a game in hand. So I don't see a scenario where Arsenal play their best team at the weekend because their focus is probably trying to get back into the Champions League tie if they lose today. So I think Arsenal lose in Lisbon today. Then they play a good team against Bournemouth, or maybe they don't play the best team against Bournemouth. Maybe they play some subs against Bournemouth, but they have too much quality in their team to not beat Bournemouth. If they drop points there, then Arsenal are in a world of trouble and they're not going to win a trophy this season. So I think Arsenal lose to Sporting. I think Real Madrid beat Bayern 3-2. Sporting beat Arsenal 2-0. And then if we're going to go on to Wednesday, bro, PSG versus Liverpool, I think PSG are going to absolutely rip them up, man. I think they make it close at Anfield, but I think PSG are on a mission to absolutely destroy Liverpool and basically try to repeat as champions. I don't think they will. I think the winner of the Real Madrid and Bayern Munich tie is going to win the Champions League, in my opinion. Barcelona versus Atletico Madrid. I think Atletico Madrid are going to beat them and get to the last 4. I think Barcelona wins tomorrow, but I think Atletico Madrid, when they take it back to the Metropolitano, I think Atletico will beat them because I think the game at the Nou Camp is going to be close. The games between these two are generally pretty close. I know Atletico Madrid beat them recently 4-0 in the Super Cup, but I think the Champions League, like the atmosphere is just completely different. So I think Atletico Madrid over both legs will beat Barcelona. So my last 4, I have Bayern Munich, Sporting, PSG, and Atletico Madrid. That's how I see the last 4 going. What do you guys think, though, bro? Who do you think is winning out of these ties? Honestly, I want to know in the comments, bro. Keep it coming with the comments, my man. But yeah, going back to this jersey, bro, I like it. Hopefully there is a decent fronted shirt sponsor on there because Chelsea, for the longest time, really since its ownership has come in, just cannot seem to get a permanent fronted shirt sponsor. And maybe it's because like the fronted shirt sponsors don't want anything to do with this ownership because they know they ain't serious. But if you were to get a Qatar Airways on the front of a Chelsea jersey, I would absolutely buy that. Would absolutely buy that because I think it's a slick sponsor, bro. And I do think the colors and stuff like that on there look really, really nice. This would be an instant cop for me. I would want to see the home jersey, even though the home jersey supposedly. Let me go ahead and find it real quick. Again, the music in the background, guys, is some Pokemon Lo-Fi. Just search it on YouTube and you're going to go ahead and probably find it. I'm listening to Matcha Pokemon. Yeah, so this is supposedly right here. They had it with João Pedro, but it's on Instagram, and I don't feel like pulling up Instagram on this computer. But let me go ahead and show you guys real quick. This is the supposed home kit for next season. How are you guys feeling about this? I like it. like the giant like crest and stuff like that. I do like the color. I do like the yellow on it. It does seem like the only thing though is that if they do supposedly have that giant yellow Chelsea badge on the front, like right where your stomach is, and I'm not going to be a fan of that. And that's probably one of the jerseys I won't get for next season because I generally buy I have all 3 jerseys for this season. Last season, I don't think I bought the away jersey, but for next season, if it's looking like this, I'm all for it. And same for the away kit. If it looks like that, I'm all for it. I want to see what the third kit also looks like. Honestly, I want to see what it looks like, man. But I think this is a slick, sleek, nice looking jersey, bro. I want to know what you guys think in the comments also. Like, do you think anything could be changed about it? Do you think it's too generic? A sponsor on the front, though, with this would look absolutely fire, though, honestly. But it's just a matter of who the hell is going to sponsor us. Who's going to want to sponsor us, right? So Cole Palmer spoke on Man City. The gaffer has said it needs to be a perfect week. Everyone needs to be on it. Every time you win, it's nice. Losing those 4 games was not good. And it's fair to say that confidence was down. It's natural for it to go down. And it is. When you lose 4 games in a row, heads are going to roll. Confidence is low. People are going to start talking. And players are going to want out because losing 4 games in a row at the professional level is unacceptable. You got to be like, I understand if you lose 2 in a row. I understand that. 3 is when you start to ask questions. 4 is when it's like, yo, like, are we okay upstairs? And clearly mentally, these players were just not right. So hopefully the 7-0 win, even though it's Port Vale, people need to understand that it's not a team that if this was Man City and we beat them 7-0, then we can probably have a conversation about where the fuck was this team at all season. But Port Vale beating them 7-0, it's expected. You should be beating a League One team by a heavy scoreline if you're in the Premier League. There's no excuse for it. Arsenal struggled against Southampton, right? Arsenal, had one of the easier runs to get to they had one of the easiest runs probably to get to the quarterfinals, and they couldn't beat a championship side. Now, it doesn't mean that Arsenal are a shit team. I just think the manager is a fraud. Like, the players they have in their squad are good enough to go win a Premier League. The manager, in my opinion, is a fraud, right? And he's shown that for the past 5 seasons that he's not able to get he's not able to win anything. He's won the FA Cup. That's fine. Cool. But let's put that FA Cup win in a context. Like I keep saying, Christian Pulisic basically ruptures his hamstring. Mateo Kovacic, I think, got sent off in that game. We were down to 10 men. So, yeah, Arsenal should have beaten us on that day. But, again, Mikel Arteta, for me, it has been a fraud and will always be a fraud. Will always be a fraud. Chelsea fans laughed at us for missing the UCL. Now they're sitting at home with us. Football really humbles you. I mean, you guys should have beaten this Real Madrid team. Honestly, but you guys wet the bed. But yeah, Chelsea also got absolutely dismantled against PSG. Absolutely got dismantled, bro. It's a little crazy. Actually, I wanted to go to my likes because I liked a few things that I wanted to touch on, honestly. The first thing, so you know how Chelsea fans are out here saying we can't afford to, help out Arsenal, and like we have to lose to Man City or at least try to get a point off of them. It's like you guys have the weakest mentality in the fan base. If you really are sitting here saying that I said this yesterday. Why do we care about what Arsenal is doing? Why do we give a fuck about what Arsenal is doing, bro? Or Man City? We're nowhere near them. We need to focus on our season and try to focus on getting into the Champions League and winning the FA Cup at this point. Who gives a fuck about what Man City and Arsenal are fighting for? We're nowhere near them. If we were in the title race, sure. Yeah, maybe we sit there. But then again, if we're in the title race, we need to get the 3 points in order to catch up to Arsenal. So, again, you treat this like you're almost in a title race because you need 3 points at the maximum in every single game to have a shot at European football for next season. You absolutely do. So seeing stuff like this is absolutely ridiculous, bro. These Chelsea fans are the ones that are holding back the fan base, in my opinion. Low key think if Mudryk didn't get done for doping, he'd be one of the best left wingers around. I'm gonna keep saying this. If he's available at any point, bring him back. What do we have to lose if we bring back Mikhailo Mudryk, bro? All I'm saying is go sign an established left winger because you're gonna sell Garnacho in the summer, right? Bring back Mudryk, have an established left winger, have those two as your left wingers at the minimum for the next 5 seasons. Then you're covered. On the right, you're covered with Esteval. As long as he can stay fit and the hamstrings stay intact, knock on wood, your right wing position is forever covered. Right? Then you got Palmer at the 10. So you have your basically the back 3 in your attacking line set for the next 5 to 7 seasons. João Pedro's there. Get him an elite striker to partner up with. I guarantee he'll be a much better player, even though he's already a great player. He'll be an even better player with that. Could you imagine, like I keep saying, could you imagine if Chelsea actually paid the money, paid the wages to Victor Osimhen, and you still grab João Pedro? That got me so excited I pulled the straw out of my coffee, bro. Like, that would have been a statement. But, of course, the board was never going to do that because Victor Osimhen wanted too much money, but he would have justified why you're paying him 400 grand a week, 300 grand a week, man. I saw this too. It says bombshell, right? Roman Abramovich's son, Arkady, I don't know. I hope I didn't butcher that, is exploring a $5 billion bid to buy Chelsea back from Clearlake Capital. Sources say early talks are underway with a consortium of investors. The goal: restore the glory days and bring back the Abramovich DNA to Stamford Bridge. His son, now 32, has stayed mostly under the radar since his father sold the club in 2022. Insiders claim he's motivated by nostalgia and frustration with the current chaos. Constant managerial changes. I mean, your dad was doing that, but at least he brought in managers that would get results and get trophies for Roman. Huge spending with mixed results and disconnected with fans. He wants to bring stability and that winning mentality back, one source tells me. 3, the reported $5 billion valuation would be a huge premium on the 2022 sale price. Clearlake has not been formally approached yet, but the American owners are known to be pragmatic. If the number is right, they could listen. Big question: would the Premier League and UK government even approve it? Regulatory minefield ahead. Chelsea fans are already split online. Some are buzzing, bring back the Roman era. Others are cautious, rushing the money again. No thanks. What do you think? Should Chelsea return to the Abramovich family ownership? There's a lot there, bro. There's a lot there. So I want to see what people are talking about in this, right? Hold on. Why posting lie? The whole world is a lie. It's as real as you can make it. I mean, I'll be real. It may not be real, but at the same time, if his son, right, his son has nothing to do with what's going on between Roman and the UK government, but it is a family tied to Roman. But here's my thing. If they were to seriously consider this, Blue Coast should immediately take that $5 billion and get the fuck out of here. Absolutely take that and get the fuck out, bro. Get out of here. Now, like, if this is a legit story, right? Like, we don't know if it's real or not. So, again, I'm not going to continue to speak on it too much, but I do think that there is a possibility that if his son is actually open to doing that, then, bro, slide through. Please. Please. So, we're gonna get into Garnacho right now because I just saw these people calling out Garnacho as a failed summer signing when we have Delap is killing me. I mean, they've both been well below average, bro. But yeah, Chelsea are ready to sell Alejandro Garnacho. Less than a year after his move from Manchester United, the Blues are reportedly looking to cash in on the player. I mean, you're gonna need to. Like, if you don't plan on selling Enzo Fernandez, then you're gonna need to sell other parts of your team that can bring you in some type of money. Garnacho would be a prime target for a lot of for a lot of teams that are looking for a young, erratic winger. I think he would play very, very well in Spain, but I don't think he wants the switch to La Liga. I think honestly, where he should go is probably somewhere in Italy where there's more space open to him, more time allotted to him, and he can actually play his game. I think a move to like Napoli or like an AC Milan, if AC Milan do decide to get rid of Leao, I think that would be a spot for him to go to. But for me, Garnacho probably does need to get sold in the summer, and you have to recoup basically what you paid for him, right? So you sell him, and then you're selling other players in the summer. If you have to sell Enzo, you have to sell Enzo. That's going to be the big money sale over the summer. But supposedly Chelsea won 150 million. No one's coming near Chelsea for that. They want to show a strong negotiating position, but no one is going to come in for 150 million for Enzo Fernandez. Nobody is doing that, bro. No one is doing that. And I rate the guy very highly, but he's not worth 150 million. If I'm a club looking to go in for Enzo Fernandez and Chelsea are saying nothing less than 100 million, I'm giving you what you paid for him. Basically, I'm basically giving you 105 million. Enzo wants out. We'll pay you 105. We'll basically have you break even on him. Because I don't think in Enzo's heart of hearts, I don't think he wants these owners to make money off him. But he also wants an improved contract too, right? And for Enzo to get the improved contract, I think your play has to justify it now even more. And you really can't be speaking to the media whatsoever because I think now his media rights have been stripped. Like, I think his media rights have been absolutely stripped, especially with what you were saying last week and about 10 days ago, bro. You're gonna be on the other side of them trying to get you out, and you're gonna be used as a scapegoat, bro, just because. And it sucks because I don't think he deserves to be used as a scapegoat because I think he's been one of the better performers since he's come to the club. He's had bad games, he's had bad stretches of the season, but this season specifically, he hasn't been as bad as what people think. And I think people are just looking at revisionist history and they're not looking at the team as a whole and why certain players have dropped in this team. They're not looking at the entire team. They're looking at individual moments and players and really tearing them off because there's nothing better for them to do with their day than just hate on certain players. I'll always criticize a player when they're clearly not playing well. Like, Cole Palmer is the golden boy in this squad. I've been criticizing Cole Palmer now for the past 2 months, saying, where are you at, bro? Where the fuck are you? You are the catalyst to this team when they are playing well. You will probably be the reason if we get into the Champions League next season. You will probably be the reason why. But where are you at? Like, those are the questions that I think people need to start asking. He didn't look great during the international break. He looked decent against Port Vale, but everybody looked good against Port Vale, bro. Except for Tosin, except for Liam Delap. Right? Like, it's crazy. There is recognition Fernandez is an alpha character, making it natural for him to dispute as captain when Reece James is absent. Chelsea are open to Enzo Fernandez captaining the side again this season. Caicedo is expected to be captain against City, which honestly, Moises Caicedo being captain would be interesting. Do I think he shows enough leadership qualities to be a captain? I mean, I think it's 50-50 on that. His play will tell you, right? His play will tell you he can be a vice captain, but on the field, like, in terms of, I don't know how he is in like the dressing room. He's usually one of the more quieter ones that you don't hear from. But he spoke over the international break about how he wants to be a Chelsea legend. He's under contract at Chelsea, so he's not going to speak on like other teams if he's not under contract with them, unless they're playing against them. But every player says, "Oh yeah, we played against Man City. It's a top team, right? It's a very tough team to play against." All these players say that shit about every team they play against. Yeah, man, we played against Burnley. They're a very tough team to play against. Yeah, for Chelsea it is, because we don't know how to hold leads and we can't close out games. We haven't been able to do that really since the end of last season. What's been your favorite goal this season?
Caicedo's Liverpool.
Moy against Liverpool.
Joao Pedro, Napoli.
I think Moy.
Moy. Which one?
Against Liverpool. Moy. Against
Moy.
Liverpool.
Against Liverpool, yeah.
Newcastle Reece.
The Reece James pick is a good one.
Against Chelsea.
Estevao, Barcelona.
Joao's left foot against Napoli.
Joao's against Napoli, left foot.
You've been nominated for the team of the season. What has been your favorite goal so far this season?
I think against Aston Villa, the second one.
Really? What do you think your shooting stats should be on this card?
85.
85. You can go higher, man.
Nah,
team of the
no,
season.
Or team of the season. If he's getting a
This
team of the
time,
season, I think Joao Pedro gets like 90, 91 shot, bro.
85.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it should be higher.
We're asking everyone their favourite goals, and quite a few people said your goal against Liverpool.
Yeah, I know, but you know, people say that.
We all love Moises Caicedo, bro. He's a really
Go
good
now
player.
for the team of the season.
I think my favorite goal of the season so far, I'd probably say either Estevao's goal against Barcelona. That's a great one, bro. I got 3 in my head right now. Joao Pedro's goal against Napoli, the left-footed rocket. Or I would probably say Joao Pedro's equalizer, bro, against Newcastle at St. James's Park, where he takes it, where Robert Sanchez punts it up the field. He takes it off his head. Great touch with his head, makes Joao fall, and he slots it in there, bro. I'm telling you, Joao Pedro, if you were to just get a reliable strike partner next to him, bro, I'm telling you this now, he's gonna get to that next level, and he's already getting there now. But could you imagine if he had an elite striker next to him, bro? Because he can play as that second striker and absolutely rip teams up. The most protected player in our fan base, I think that's absolutely wrong, bro. He's not the most protected player in the fan base. The most protected player in this fan base, and rightfully so, is probably Reece James. Like, he would probably be the most protected player, right? I'd probably say him. I'd probably say him or probably Palmer, bro. Because there's still a lot of Chelsea fans out there that are really defending how Palmer is playing at times. It's like, yo, like, are you guys like that infatuated with how he's played in the past that he's not allowed to get some type of criticism from the fan base? I would probably say 80% of Chelsea fans will tell you that he needs to step up. He needs to pick it up. So I think he's one of the most scrutinized players in the team, honestly. Chelsea versus both Manchester clubs back to back. You only get one. Beat City, lose to United. Beat United, lose to City. I don't know, man. Because I have a thing. I don't know if we win either one of those games, really. If I had to choose one, I'd probably say beat Man City and lose to Manchester United. Because we haven't beat City in a long time, bro. Honestly. But I feel like if we beat City, I think we would beat Manchester United. honestly, because I think beating City would be such a mental boost for the entire club because they got a point against Man City on January 4th, yeah, but that was a different point in the season where it's right after Enzo Maresca got sacked, so there was a different feeling about the team then. But now it's like if they were to beat Man City now, I feel like it would completely flip their mood in how they see the season. And I think a lot of the fans would feel the same way. But at the same time, the fans aren't really frustrated with a lot of the players. It's just with the board. And the board is really and the board is the fucking problem here. It's not really the players because the players are frustrated with how the board is running things. It's like I said, if this club was being ran right and you had serious owners and a serious manager in there with some proven players in the squad, you're probably not seeing players like Mark Cucurella, Enzo Fernandez, Cole Palmer, or any of these players trying to itch for a move away because they know Chelsea as a team that was competing in the Champions League in and around the title race, some more often 5 times winning the title. It's like these players grew up on Chelsea winning, not being in 6th, 7th in the Premier League and struggling to get into the Champions League. That's not what these players are used to seeing Chelsea being, but this isn't Chelsea. What are people saying that this club is now? CFC LDN. That's exactly what this club is. And until that changes, they will forever be CFC LDN. That's just how it'll be. So if I had to choose one, it would be the blue pill, beat City, lose to Man United. But I think if we beat Man City, I think I think we would beat Manchester United too. That's just my opinion. I think that's what could happen because beating Man City is a mental and a confidence boost for any team, bro. For any team. I mean, I feel like he did cross the line by continuously saying stuff about wanting to live in Madrid, but I keep saying that, like, was that really the worst answer for him to say? I mean, it's coincidental that you want to live there and there happens to be a famous club out there, but at the same time, it's like he was asked about where he lived, not about what club he wanted to play for. Deep down, Enzo Fernandez wants to be in Madrid. One day, I feel like he will get there. But if Chelsea aren't going to budge off that 150, he's not going anywhere. And if he's not going anywhere, improve his contract because he's justified getting the raises in his contract and certain things in his contract that he wants. I feel like he's absolutely fucking deserved it. And a lot of people don't agree with me on it. I can care less because I feel like you take him out of the squad. You got people overreacting, right? Saying that we're better without Enzo in the squad after we beat Port Vale 7-0. Moises Caicedo wasn't in that game either. Are we better without Caicedo in this team? No. So knock it off, bro. Enzo Fernandez is having a better season than Caicedo. Are we really better without Caicedo? No. So could you imagine if you take him out for an extended period of time, or even if you sell him? Sure. We got Barco coming in the summer, but are we getting anybody else of Enzo's profile in this team? You need a more creative 8 in this team to go alongside of an Enzo, of a Barco, of a Caicedo, of a Lavia. And you have Santos too. One of those players is going to have to get sold. If Romeo Lavia can't stay healthy, I feel like you have to cut ties. Enzo Fernandez hasn't shown really a lot of injury issues, has he? He's always available. He's always ready to go. The best ability is availability. If you're always available and you're available to be elected, that alone is already showing some type of leadership qualities within the squad. You're making sure your body's intact. You're making sure you're mentally right, even though he isn't mentally right now. Why? Because the club is in such a bad state of affairs that he can't focus on Chelsea because he wants a new contract at the club because he's never said he wanted to leave. And I can understand his agent's frustration that he never said he wanted to leave. He was asked a question about where he would want to live. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that kind of question. There isn't. So, he is an alpha. So it's like if you're an alpha, and you're showing the leadership qualities. Now, a lot of his teammates don't like his leadership qualities. I'm like, you guys need to grow a pair of balls in between your legs. The guy's ambitious. The guy wants to win. If you're having the weak mentality that you're having because he's yelling at you because of the way that you conceded a goal, Jorgensen, grow the fuck up, bro. Grow up, bro. Like, just grow up. You're a grown-ass man at a Big Six club in the Premier League, and you're acting like that because Enzo is throwing the ball back at you because of a mistake that you made. That's what I'm saying, bro. Ambitious players are going to be getting in the faces of players that don't look like they're serious. And there's nothing wrong with that. You're wasting the man's career. Who can really start in our current squad? On the left? Oh, bro, give me Willian or Pedro. Like, give me Willian or Pedro out there on the left. And then actually give me Willian on the left, Esteval on the right, João Pedro up top. You have an all Brazilian front three and Cole Palmer in behind. That'd be filthy, bro. Chelsea's next signing from Strasbourg after Barca would be Julio and Cesar. The plan would be to likely leave him there for another season before bringing him as backup Palmer. I thought Esteval was supposed to be there. Give me 1 second, guys. I have to go piss real quick. Alrighty. Damn. That's what happens when you drink coffee and stuff, bro. Damn. Yeah. I'll say this, it's unrelated to soccer and stuff, but Stephen A. Smith, I'm sure a lot of people know who he is. I'm going to be honest, bro. I've listened to you for years, but as the years have honestly gone on, dude, like the way that you're able to, the way that you analyze things, bro, I think it really needs to be talked about. Because it does feel like you have some type of agenda against some people out there. And this is why a lot of the stars out here, like athletes, can't stand you anymore. I mean, people already had a weird relationship with you anyway. LeBron James is the perfect example of this. Stephen A. Smith, bro, you want to talk about a guy that's honestly sold out. That's all I'm going to really say on him. It's a disappointment, dude. For a guy who was really the pioneer for African Americans, in a sense, to get into the sports broadcasting, like journalistic part, and really being like the face of it, how much you've dropped the ball, bro, is insane. Because you're starting to become more and more of an embarrassment than you are a positive impact. And like, I don't have the platform to really even go at the guy, but I'm just saying, like, I've watched you for years, bro. and it's an absolute shame how you have completely turned you've sold your soul essentially to get the biggest payout of your life, and it's really showing its true colors more and more. Yeah, I mean, he does say a lot of things, and he can't own up for it. But anyway, back to Chelsea, back to what we're really on here for. Even if Madrid rake in a fortune in sales, Real Madrid insiders do not expect the club to swoop in for Enzo. That's what I'm saying, bro. I said this last week. Like, he's saying all these things about Madrid, and Real Madrid may not even come in for him, bro. Like, they may not even come in because the price tag is going to be too steep. But I do want to check something. I want to see if I'm logged in here on my Reddit. I should be. Okay. I wanted to hop on Reddit and see what people are talking about. I'm gonna hop over to the Chelsea Reddit real quick, man. See what's going on over here. Yeah, so I was talking about the kit being leaked and all that. Looks nice, but I mean, just hope that yellow Chelsea thing isn't on there. Lads, Carabao Cup got killed. FA Cup got killed. EPL and UCL. Listen, bro, they may not win anything. Super Franks, Coventry are now only 4 points away from being promoted to the Premier League. Ipswich may come back up too. Maybe Liam Delap. It goes back to Ipswich if they get promoted. That'll be interesting. Borough, Middlesbrough. I mean, those are the same teams. Borough, Millwall. Bro, how interesting would it be to see Millwall get promoted? Could you imagine if Millwall get promoted and West Ham get relegated? I know, like, that's like a big East London derby right there, to be honest. Wrexham. Look, Wrexham are in a playoff spot, but they're just above Southampton, it looks like. Derby, Norwich, and Watford. It looks like it's going to be Coventry, and if I had because the top two get promoted automatically, so I think it's going to be Coventry and Ipswich still have 2 games in hand too. I didn't even see that. I think Coventry and Ipswich get the automatic promotion, and then I think the playoff team that comes up. I would like to see Wrexham because I think it would be insane, but I think they're a couple years too early for that, man. I think they're a couple seasons off. You know what? I'll go Millwall, bro. I would like to see them in the Premier League. I ain't gonna lie. Dortmund are among the clubs that have Diego Moreira on their short list for the summer. The 21-year-old is currently on a contract at Strasbourg until 2029 and is planning a move in the upcoming window. Chelsea are believed to hold a very favorable buyback option. I would just sell him at this point. Yeah, I mean, like I said, bro, Palmer has got to figure it out, man. It says Chelsea's top scorers. Chelsea's top scorers since the 2000s. So I want to see if I can find the common theme here about the Chelsea goal scorers. Really. And this is all competitions, right? I imagine, yeah. Yeah, this is all competitions. Frank Lampard was our top goal scorer the year we won the Champions League, bro. And we finished 6th that season too. The common thing though about Chelsea though is that they haven't had really a 25 plus goal scorer since Didier Drogba in 2009-2010. So the year we won the league, I mean Cole Palmer had 25. I'm saying 25 plus, like where you're getting 26, 27, 28. We haven't had that. Palmer's first season, yes, like you can make the argument that he was that guy for us. But when I talk about Chelsea winning the Premier League again, they need somebody in that squad at the center forward position that is getting 20, 25 goals in the league. That's going to win you the Premier League. Because if Palmer had 25 goals as an attacking mid, could you imagine if Chelsea had a striker that was getting 20 to 25 goals in the league? João Pedro has 18 in all competitions right now. Palmer had 22 in the league in 23 to 24. João Pedro right now, I think, has 15 league goals. I think he's going to get 20. I think he'll hit the 20 goal mark this season in the league. But for Chelsea to ever win the Premier League again, they need to get somebody that is getting 20 to 25 goals at the center forward position, and your wingers have to be chipping in 15 goals apiece at a minimum. That's going to win you leagues. That's going to win you Champions League titles. That's going to win you big pieces of silverware. That's going to attract the best players to come play with those players. That's what's going to happen. And we haven't had a real solid center forward since Costa. João Pedro is looking like he can be that guy. Hopefully he can, because I think João Pedro is such a silky, crafty, smooth operator, bro. He is a smooth footballer, in my opinion. If he can just get more of the service, because he's clinical, he has different ways to score a goal, and that's what's great about him. And that's what you need out of your striker. And for him to be able to link up too with your Palmers, with your Estevals, with whoever's playing out there on the left, with your Enzos and shit, you're able to see the best version of him. But the team as a whole just needs to pick it up. They absolutely do. But yeah, I mean, like this, it's interesting, man. Like top goal scorers by season, and it's like Chelsea cannot get past that 25 goal mark. Palmer did it 3 seasons ago. We haven't seen anybody do it since. And we really haven't seen anybody score 30 plus goals since Drogba did it in 2009, 2010, where we won the league with Carlo Ancelotti. So Chelsea should have gone for the stadium upgrade first. I think the board should have gone hard for the stadium issue more than the squad from the beginning. By now, we would have passing leeway in it by now, because folks, squad building alone hasn't really done us any good till now. At least we would have the inkling that the board is doing something progressive in regards to the stadium sanctuary to how. Now we don't even know whether they made any headway. Our financial reports have been quite poor as a club, and our stadium capacity is one big factor. We don't generate enough revenue. And our wages, even as it has been cut to turnover. The stadium provides too many issues. Player recruitment is the right move. It has just been executed poorly. I mean, if you were to get different owners in here, and the plan was to recruit and also get a stadium plan going, I think different owners handle this completely different. I just think Blueco are so stuck in their ways, and the player trading is at an all-time high, that a stadium would cost them too much money. And they definitely wouldn't make their money back on that stadium, because the fans don't want the ownership in the club. If these were different owners that gave a fuck about the club and gave a fuck about that part of London and gave a fuck about the fans and about the players' careers at the end of the day, because the players is what keeps the club alive. On top of the fans, the players keep the club afloat and the fans. But the players specifically are the ones that are playing for the club and the badge in the part of London that they are in. These players don't. I have a feeling these players do not want these owners there anymore. But of course, publicly, they're not going to say we don't want the ownership. They've hinted at it already. Mark Cucurella has done it. Enzo has done it. Malo Gusto has done it too. Other players have done it. It's up to us now as the fans to push it on the 18th. Keep spreading the fucking message. Blue Co out. Spurs have the nicest new stadium, and they are on pace to play in the championship next season. Spurs recruitment has done them dirty, and also firing Levy has done them more harm than good. I think he stepped down. Our recruitment has been nothing short than of abysmal. Just imagine stadium costs to this mess. Even the few good players which we have wouldn't want to be there as well. I mean, I just said that, right? Like, these players aren't gonna want to be there if there's no ambition. It doesn't matter about the new stadium. There's a similarity, kind of, right? Like when Kevin Durant was on the Golden State Warriors, one of the many reasons that he left was because the incident between him and Draymond Green against the LA Clippers, where Draymond essentially called him a bitch. We don't need you. We won without you, right? It didn't matter if the Warriors were building a new stadium we're building a new stadium in San Francisco at the Chase Center. It didn't matter. Kevin Durant's head was already gone because of how internally in the dressing room shit was getting. These players are not going to want to sit there and stay if the ownership isn't going to change how they're recruiting players. But are they going to change it? No, because there's no money. All the money's been spent in the wrong areas. All the summer signings you're going to see are coming from Strasbourg, or they're going to be loans or it's going to be loans because the loan spell ends and they're brought back. If Chelsea want to buy anybody big, they have to sell players. Garnacho may be on his way out. Tosin may be on his way out. Players are going to be on their way out, but are they going to use the money in the right areas? No. They're not. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, dude. It's just like the fact that we haven't got a stadium thing is crazy, bro. Like a plan for the stadium is nuts. Let's see if I can find Eunice's. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Hold on. 1 second, guys. No, I don't want to do that. Okay. First of all, I'm going to join this. All right. Now I can come back and show you guys what I was doing. I was trying to get to this guy's page because he has some pretty interesting stuff on here I want to react to. I ain't going to lie. One of the guys that I fuck with the most probably on this platform, really, but oh no, this was like 8 months ago. A lot of this stuff is old. Hold on, never mind. Yeah, a lot of this stuff is old. Also, I wanted to ask people, did people hear about what happened to Offset yesterday, bro? Insane, man. I mean, we're really fighting over like baby mamas and stuff, dude. Like, it's crazy. Choose my team of the season with these players? The only right answer. I don't know about that. Real ones know this free kick won us the Champions League. I remember this goal. We needed the 3 points on that day to take fourth spot. Or third spot, actually. Actually, no, it was fourth spot. These jerseys, though, this was during COVID, and I remember like Chelsea had they changed their jerseys mid-season, or like towards the end of that season, because everyone hated them. Chelsea fans, would you rather win the FA Cup or secure a top 5 spot in the league? The FA Cup gets us into the Europa League, but top 5 gets us Champions League. I mean, Chelsea are only a point off of Liverpool, bro. And 5th may be enough to get us into the Champions League, but why not just do both? Why do we have to have a choice? I'd say just go for both. Sporting replies to Arsenal fan on Instagram who said they'll get cooked tonight. Hi, you're getting cooked tonight. Your only hope is a corner, and you won't get any tonight. Oh boy.
No, I'm not. Whoa!
We don't use that language here.
I'm not seeing this meeting ending
We don't
ending
use
well.
that
This meeting is over.
Well, why is it over?
Hold on, Husky.
Raymond out here.
Y'all got the wrong black man
I saw the
to be
clip of
sitting
this
here yelling like y'all out of y'all
I-
motherfucking mind.
He was actually getting
I
good.
got it. How about that?
LeBron
You
and
got the
Anthony
wrong.
Davis,
I hear you. I hear you.
Hey, you just got played, dog.
Raymond was about to beat that. He was about to beat that guy. He was getting spooked. Bernardo Silva replied to a Chelsea fan on Instagram. I'm 31 years old. Please come to Chelsea. I'm 31. He knows. Knock it off, bro. Hey, listen. Knock it off. Chelsea plot shock move for Xabi Alonso. I already know this ain't real, bro. Chelsea are quietly keeping tabs on Xabi Alonso as uncertainty lingers over current boss Liam Rosenior. With Alonso now available following his January exit from Real Madrid, the Blues are preparing a contingency plan ready to act if they decide to make a managerial switch in the summer. Give me a second. I'm going to respond to this right now because this, to me, I understand this isn't real, but I do want to speak on like a possibility of this happening and why I feel like if you were to go after him, shit definitely has to be different. But just give me a second, please. All right. I have returned. Just make sure they're okay. But yeah, I mean, to speak on the Xabi Alonso thing, like the thing that I think honestly bothers me about seeing reports like this is like I think the problem is with having conversations about Xabi Alonso is that he's going to want too much control over what players come in. And these owners are showing they're not going to let anybody come in here and tell them what players they want. They're saying that Lee Messina is having a major input on what players come in. Then why couldn't you give that to Pochettino, Enzo Maresca, right? Even Thomas Tuchel to an extent, right? Like why couldn't you give them that kind of power? I think Xabi Alonso is going to Anfield, honestly, because I think Arne Slot is going to step down at the end of the season. It's too late to sack him now. I think at the end of the season, Arne Slot is going to part ways, and you're going to see Liverpool probably go in for Xabi Alonso, make him probably the highest paid manager in the history of the Premier League, and then you'll see him on the touchline at Anfield, and Chelsea will still have either Lee Messina, or if they get rid of him, we all know Gary O'Neill will be the next manager at Chelsea, who I would want them to sign, honestly, as manager. It's a chance, it's a risk, obviously, but go get me Cesc Fabregas, bro. If Como say they don't make it into the Champions League and Chelsea do come in and they ask for him to come there with no European football, I still think he would take the job because it's Chelsea and it's a Premier League and the money is there. But I think that he's going to want guarantees if he's going to be signed at the club, if he's going to manage this Chelsea club, right? Because I think Cesc Fabregas can do wonders with this current Chelsea club if he gets a few other players that he's able to bring in. That's how I see it. But will Chelsea go after a manager like that? Probably not, because Gary O'Neill is waiting in the wings in case Lee Messina gets sacked or he gets let go or whatever. But if results go south, then Lee Messina won't be the manager next season. I want to see them go for a Cesc Fabregas. I think he would help out like the midfield area, especially being an elite midfielder himself and being the elite passer. Enzo Fernandez can learn a lot from Cesc Fabregas, and that's who I've compared him to a lot recently because of how he plays the game in like the finesse style that he has. He's not the most physical midfielder, but if you give him enough space and time, he can pick out a pass. So I think a shock move for Xabi Alonso if Chelsea were to do it would be a shock, but it would be a hell of a signing. It would be a hell of a managerial signing. I will say that. But is he ready to take that step to this Chelsea team? Because at Madrid, that's probably the hottest seat in the world, and he didn't even make it through half a season there. And in my opinion, it was really because of the players. It wasn't because of him. Right, and we saw the Madrid fans whistling and booing their players at the start of the calendar year, bro. So we'll see what happens. It'll be interesting to see. Yeah, I spoke on this yesterday.
Arteta's a better manager than Hansi Flick.
No,
Hansi Flick.
what?
Hansi Flick.
What are we saying
Hansi
here?
Flick tactically.
Have some shame, bro. Arteta is better than Hansi Flick, a guy that won the treble with Bayern Munich. Convincingly, I might add, right? Convincingly, I might add. Then goes to the German national team. Yeah, doesn't really do the greatest. I think he was the manager also at the World Cup in 2022. So it wasn't a good run for him as the German manager. But he went to Barcelona and he won the treble there last season, the domestic treble, and he's in line to win La Liga again for a second straight year. And you're telling me that Mikel Arteta, a guy that's only won the FA Cup, is a better manager than Hansi Flick? Have some shame, bro.
What are you talking about? 1 second. Tactically, Hansi Flick for the last year and a half has been playing a suicidal high line and
winning multiple trophies with it.
No, yes, he won multiple trophies with it.
No. Not only multiple trophies, he's won the domestic treble last season, and he's winning La Liga again this season. And the Super Cup.
Fair. Let him. He's doing well with what he has. But personally, I feel him as a flawed manager.
He's doing well with what he has, right? And Mikel Arteta has had a great squad for the better part now of three and a half seasons, and all you can show for it is a semifinal appearance in the Champions League, and losing finals losing the Carabao Cup final, you win a Community Shield. Cool, bro. And Mikel Arteta, again, showing the fraudulence in his and his managing. And this is why Arsenal fans get the hate that they do. Because they're so deluded in the fact that they think Hansi Flick is a worse manager than Mikel Arteta. When you guys are probably going to get knocked out in the Champions League, and you guys are probably more than likely going to make this title race closer than it needs to actually be.
I think he might be getting great results at Barcelona with his great players that he has.
Okay.
I do look at him and I say it's flawed. And when we do end up facing Barcelona, you guys will see. Arteta will.
I agree. If they get out of the round against Sporting, which I don't think they will, because I think it's going to be a tough tie for them anyway, they're not beating Atletico Madrid or Barcelona. They're just not. They're not. I'm taking Simeone and Hansi Flick over Mikel Arteta every day of the week and twice on Sunday, bro. Simeone at least has been to the Champions League final, what, twice? Countless semifinal appearances, won La Liga, I think, what, 2 or 3 times? In the same area that Real Madrid and Barcelona have been dominating? I don't want to hear it, bro. We all miss Antonio Rudiger too, bro. But look at Frank, bro. Frank Lampard, man. What a job he has done with Coventry City. I mean, having a horrible stint with his second stint with Chelsea, being the caretaker manager, losing I think 5 or like 5 in a row, and then his first season as Chelsea manager with the transfer ban gets top 4, and just looks like, you know, he could be the guy that can take this young team forward. It was under a different ownership, sure, but when he got the sack after the 2-0 loss to Leicester, and then you make the change to bring in Thomas Tuchel, I think the move down to the championship at Coventry City, where he's able to really play his brand of football in a league where, you know, 3 points in the championship is absolutely everything. I know people say in the Premier League 3 points is everything, but realistically, he has completely turned it around in terms of a manager. It'll be interesting to see what he does coming up to the Premier League with Coventry City, but I'm rooting for him. Easily the most confusing player in Man City. Yeah, bro. He's probably the most confusing player in the history of the Premier League, bro. Right? I mean, he had good moments at Man City. He had the season where he scored like 35 plus goals, right? But like, that's what you want to see from Sterling, is the decisiveness, bro. Being able to drop a couple players and then not be afraid to shoot, bro. But as his career has like waned and stuff, he's become more hesitant, more predictable, and he doesn't have the same breakaway speed he used to have anymore, bro. Like Sterling, that one season he scored 35 goals was an absolute monster, but a lot of those goals, you know, were created for him. Like these are the goals you should be finishing. That's what you want to see out of your wingers, bro. Yep. And in case you guys haven't heard what my UCL predictions are for today, it would be Real Madrid beats Bayern Munich, but I have Munich going through overall. Sporting are going to beat Arsenal. Atletico Madrid over 2 legs are going to beat Barcelona. and PSG are going to absolutely rip up Liverpool in Paris, and Liverpool will keep it close at Anfield. Yeah, she got fucked up yesterday, bro. Guess. N'Golo Kante's performance versus Man City in 2021, or Eden Hazard's performance versus Arsenal in 2019? I would probably say N'Golo Kante. He was exceptional in that game, dude. Still the game where I'm trying to figure out why Pep didn't start Rodri in that game. De Bruyne gets injured in that game because Antonio Rudiger like ran his shit over, bro. Take a look at something real quick. They did actually do the lineups for Real Madrid versus Bayern Munich. Do want to go over those real quick. Let's take a look here. So the lineups for Real Madrid versus Bayern have dropped, it looks like. So the Real Madrid starting 11, it's looking like it's going to be Lunin in goal, which is very interesting. Is Courtois injured? I don't know. I don't really follow Real Madrid like that. My friend does, so I'd probably have to ask him, honestly. But you got Lunin, Trent, Hausen, Rudiger, Fran Garcia, Tchouaméni, Valverde, Thiago, Guyer, Mbappe, and Vinicius. That's a good 11. The Bayern starting 11 is looking like it's Neuer, Stanisic, Upamecano, Ta, Leimer, Kimmich, Pavlovic, Luis Diaz, Gnabry, Olise, and Kane. That's a good 11, bro. Yeah, I think Real Madrid win this game 3-2, but I think Bayern go back to Munich and they win convincingly at the Allianz Arena, man. But yeah, that's actually a pretty good. I'm going to see if the Sporting and the Arsenal items are out too. Yes, I'm sure. Actually, yeah, it just got confirmed right now. Going to take a look at these lineups for the Gunners when they travel out to Lisbon here. There's no Bukayo Saka too, so he's not in this game. Oh, it's actually not. It hasn't been dropped yet. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, if I had to guess, like what the predicted lineup would actually be, it looks like it's probably David Raya, Ben White, Saliba. I think Gabriel went off injured, but it looks like he's in line to start. Calafiore, Zubamendi, Rice, Odegaard, Madueke, Gyökeres, and Martinelli. No Bukayo Saka though, so it'll be interesting, man. Arsenal have it all to do, bro. They absolutely have it all to do. I don't think it's gonna be easy for them whatsoever. Chelsea and Strasbourg are currently in talks over the fee for Barco. Gary O'Neill is not thought to be enamored about the prospect of losing his player. Brighton have a hefty selling clause. Well, Gary, welcome to the Blue Coast setup, bro. Like, you might be happy in about 2 or 3 months when you're promoted to being the Chelsea manager. You're gonna be saying it's a dream job. I can't believe I'm here. You know, it's always been a dream to manage a big club like Chelsea. It's like those, like we all know those comments are coming. But Brighton have a safety sell-out clause, bro. Whatever it takes to help Brighton, right? I don't know. I don't know, man. What was that, last season? Yeah. Trending, a 14-year-old Bosnian ball boy stole Donnarumma's penalty notes ahead of the Italy-Bosnia PK. I saw something next to the towel and I immediately knew what it was. It contained all the information about our players. Wait, really? Wait, really? That's crazy. Oh, bro, this guy's a national hero. At least for the Bosnians. Italy must have been done dirty. I've seen too many terrible lineups. This is the real dream. João Pedro up top, Nico Williams on the left, Palmer, Estevao, again with Elliot Anderson, Caicedo, Cucurella, Schlotterbeck, Colwell, Reece James, and Penders. You said this is the dream lineup, bro. At least the other ones were realistic. This ain't happening. I mean, he did say Enzo's only playing the 10 because of the two midfielders you have at the double pivot, bro. If they played a midfield 3, then Enzo could play in his best position, which is the box-to-box midfield role. But Nico Williams would be interesting. I don't think he would make the move, though. Because, 1, he's going to want too much money. 2, Chelsea need to be in the Champions League. They absolutely need to be in the Champions League to get a player like Nico Williams to come to the club, bro. This is what I think will happen realistic as possible without being entirely Blueco. Van Hecke. Murillo would be a good one. I think Njai would be honestly, I think Iliman Njai would be a very interesting signing, bro. I think that's probably a player that hasn't been talked about too much by Chelsea fans in terms of bringing him to the club. I think he's the closest thing we would get to having some type of Hazard replacement, with just the way that he dribbles the ball and how he's able to carry the ball in tight spaces and the low center of gravity he does have. Because I was speaking on Eden Hazard yesterday about how the best thing about him and the underrated thing about him was his balance and the low center of gravity he had as a winger, which is why it was very hard for players to get the ball off him. When you watch Iliman Njai play, it is hard to get the ball off him because he has good strength in his lower body, and he's a good dribbler and he has a shot on him. The goal he scored against us, the third goal, was world class. It was spectacular. No goalkeeper in the world is saving that. It's a postage stamp, right? It's a postage stamp at the end of the day, and no goalkeeper is going to save that. Switch it over to some Zelda music real quick. But yeah, man, I'm just checking to see how everyone's doing. Hopefully the stream is going well. But yeah, I mean, this isn't a bad prediction of what we could do. Would I be okay with this? I mean, it looks like if you're getting these players, you sold Enzo. But then again, you're only getting a little over 100 million for him. So you're buying all these players for 100 million. Where's the rest of the money at? Unless you sell like Garnacho and stuff, but I wouldn't sell Enzo. That's just me. That's just me. In possession, you running this, right? I mean, yeah, I mean, it's not the worst idea, but I just feel like the whole Elliot Anderson and Adam Morton thing, I think really needs to be looked at. Guess the player very hard I played with. No, I ain't gonna sit there and go through the comments and look at that, bro. Jude Bellingham benched. Jude Bellingham is finding a way to play himself out of the out of the England squad, bro. Chelsea's best player ever. A lot of people are gonna say Frank. I think it's Eden Hazard, bro. Like I think it's Hazard. But that's my favorite player in the history of Chelsea, man. On God. I want to know though, who is everyone's favorite Chelsea player of all time? Hopefully that is being clipped for the short there, but who is everyone's favorite Chelsea player ever? Even if you hate Chelsea, right? I'm sure there's a player that rival fans do respect out of the club. Chelsea's insane summer window. João Pedro 64, Jamie Gittins 56, which now seem like it's a waste of 56. Same with Garnacho. That's over 100 million on wingers also, by the way. Liam Delap, a waste of 36 million. Esteval for 34 million is a bargain. And then the teachers. No Madueke, 56. Christopher Nkunku, 37. João Felix, 30. And supposedly the João Felix thing is actually a 2-year loan, which is absolutely insane if that's true. Georgi Petrovic, 29 million. Ugo Chukwu, 29. Dewsbury Hall, 29. I mean, Nicholas Jackson is the one on here where I'm like, you should not have sent him on loan. I don't think we're 6th in the Premier League if we have him in the squad. That's just my opinion. I really don't think that we're 6th in the table. Chelsea lost to Bayern Munich in penalty shootout after Hazard dropped a masterclass in the 2013-14 Super Cup. When the game ended, Jose Mourinho signaled to Chelsea fans to chant his name instead of his own. What an iconic moment this was for Hazard. I mean, it was the birth of him. It was the birth of what we eventually saw for about 7-8 seasons at the Bridge. Bro has a chance to become a Chelsea cult hero today without even touching the ball in a Chelsea shirt. Yeah. Aquenda has a chance to show his blue and show what color London really is, man. He's supposed to go into the club too next season, so we'll see what's going on. People need to remember that Benitez came to Chelsea, finished 3rd, and won the Europa. And plus, most of the fan base wanted him sacked. Di Matteo won the Champions League and FA Cup. I don't want him to get a full-time job. Who is Rafinha? I mean, he's not wrong, but Liam Rafinha is not winning the Champions League at all. He never will with this club. The FA Cup's a possibility. If he wins the FA Cup, I mean, cool. You have some silverware, bro. Awesome. So which game am I watching? I'm probably going to watch the Real Madrid versus Bayern game, honestly, but I'm going to keep my eyes on the Arsenal and the Sporting game. And then it says USA versus Iran. Let's not go there. In order to get elected, Obama will need to start a war with Iran. This age worse than milk. Yeah. La Liga will get a 5th Champions League spot if Real Madrid eliminate Bayern Munich. Wow. So Enzo Fernandez should commit his future without proper direction of where the project is heading. Yeah. Chelsea blamed Fernandez's agitation to be part of the reason for the delay and push for better contract terms. I mean, he's not going to commit his future to anybody if you guys don't show the ambition. And people want him gone, but it's like, why? Why do you want him gone? Because he spoke out about where the club is going. You guys are part of the problem. You guys are the problem and why this club was not going to get these owners out. If you guys really want Enzo out, then you guys are not looking at the bigger picture. He's exposing what the club is doing, in a sense. And when you have basically the face of your project, one of the faces of the project, right, coming out and saying stuff about where he would want to be, that has everything to do with how you're running the fucking football club, bro. It's not about it's not about him because he wants to win. He's always showed that he wants to win. So I feel like Chelsea need to give him the better contract because no one's coming in for 150 million for Enzo, bro. Unless he pushes for the move and then the club coming in for him would be in a better negotiating a position than Chelsea. Well, look, bro, your player wants out. He wants to wear the white shirt. You guys aren't offering him what he's expecting. We can come in, we'll give you about 95 million plus add-ons, and then we'll go from there. The initial base fee, in my opinion, for Enzo to leave is going to be 90 million plus add-ons, which will take it to above 100 million, which means Enzo would probably leave because the add-ons will probably be them getting into the Champions League, them winning the Champions League, them winning the league one season, which will add to the add-ons, sure. But in my opinion, Chelsea need to do everything they can to keep Enzo. I don't think you're finding a replacement for him, even though people are saying Elliot Anderson and Adam Wharton would be the perfect replacement. No, they wouldn't, because they're proven in the Premier League, sure, but I think they would struggle at Chelsea. And I think people are just trying to find a way to get Enzo out rather than seeing, like, are those the players we actually need in the squad right now to make us better? No, we need proven European players in the squad to actually help this team out. It's easier to be Chelsea. It's easier to be Arsenal than Chelsea in the final. Deep down, we all were all playing to face Arsenal in the FA Cup final. I mean, I don't think Man City would want to face Chelsea in the final because in a one-off game, I feel like this Chelsea team will show up, but it's when it gets to the league is when they just falter, bro. I don't know why it's showing the fucking Kardashians on here. Today marks 100 days since Tottenham last won a Premier League game. It's been 100 days, bro. You're talking about a third of the year where they haven't won a game, bro, in the league. Screenshot your prediction for, I said 3-2 Real Madrid today. So Liam Delap this season, 33 games, 2 goals, 3 assists, a goal contribution every 262 minutes. So basically, every 3 games, he's getting a goal contribution. That's horrific. Nicholas Jackson would have probably had about 9 or 10 goals, along with maybe 4 or 5 assists in this current Chelsea team. I think he would have that because he plays very well with Cole Palmer, and I would have loved to have seen what he would have done with João Pedro up there with him. I think they would have complemented each other so well, honestly. But we'll see what happens if he comes back after the World Cup and he's actually reintegrated back in the squad. I think you do, and you sell Liam Delap. And if Ipswich get that promotion back up, he should go back to Ipswich and go continue his career there. Because I just think Chelsea was just the wrong move for him. At this point in his career, if he would have went from Ipswich to West Ham, Ipswich to even like a Newcastle, bro, I would have said he probably would have had a better season. But coming to Chelsea, the expectations, the curse of that 9 jersey, he was always going to find it very difficult to hit the ground running at this club. And I just think the move from Ipswich to Chelsea was too much for him. I really think it was way too much of a jump because he wasn't ready. Wait, there's 747. There's 747 clubs in the FA Cup. There must be like preliminary rounds before even the first round of the FA Cup. Interesting. I didn't know that. Okay, the referee told Henry to take his free kick. This is one of my favorite like free kicks, bro. Is it enough? Well, one of the few Arsenal players that like I fuck with pretty tough, bro. Because Henry was just Thierry Henry, man, is just such a wonderful player, bro, to watch. Even though he caused Chelsea a shit ton of problems, but he was just a joy to watch. UEFA officially lists Lionel Messi with 3 Champions League titles, excluding his 2006 win, as he wasn't part of the Barcelona's final squad. I mean, I think he was in the squad, but he wasn't. I don't think he played enough games as part of the final squad to get a winner's medal. Because he won it in 2009, 2011, and 2015. Ronaldo has 5, right? He won it with Man United, and he won 4 with Real Madrid. Huh. I mean, taking 1 Champions League off his resume is not going to hurt him. He's still considered like the greatest player ever. So, he has 3, now he has 1 taken off. I mean, I think that's fair. If he really wasn't part of the squad, right, then you're not going to reward someone like that and then say they have 4 Champions Leagues when they really have 3. That was Ronaldinho's team, I believe, too. So, it makes sense. I can't believe they have the score filled in 20-0. That would be insane, bro. Let me see what Home's talking about today. Chelsea fans on Enzo Maresca's latest IG post. I actually saw this. I miss you more than my girlfriend. That's crazy, bro. Chelsea fans actually had a connection with you the same way we did with Tuchel, and every time we built trust, the owners ruin it. It's a bad time to be a Chelsea fan these days. I mean, I think a lot of fans were building that connection with him. We miss you, Gafford. Chelsea misses you. Come back, miss you, Gafford. I mean, I'll be honest, man. A lot of people didn't like Enzo Maresca, but I just feel like he was really the only guy that was able to get us respectable again and that give us the identity we haven't had since Thomas Tuchel was here. Reece James could be back at the end of April or early May. I mean, do you rush him back if he's available? I keep saying you need to protect this guy, but it depends where Chelsea are in the table and what he's prioritizing more. His chances at the World Cup or Chelsea being in the Champions League next season and winning the FA Cup. In his heart, I think he wants to make sure Chelsea are in Europe next season and somehow were to grab a trophy, but I think his head is turned towards that World Cup squad. So are you still playing for Arne Slot? Florian Wirtz, yes, of course. We are believing in him, and we should. They won the league last season. We had a lot of good games. We wanted it to be better than what it was. We have things to play for. We believe in the manager. I don't know, man. I think you're part of the problem. In my opinion, I think you're part of the problem. I think the only guy who can fix him would be Xabi Alonso. And even then, you go get Isak and him in the summer. You spend over 500 million, and they've just been a complete disappointment this season. Florian Wirtz is probably the most disappointing signing of the entire season. The price tag and the profile of player that he is, that I felt like they needed for the longest time, that creative 10 that can actually push up a bit higher and create more opportunities for Mo Salah, for Gakpo, for Ekitike, for Isak too, right? But I think them losing, what's his name? Diaz, right? I think them losing him is a big deal. And I just think that Arne Slot honestly has lost the dressing room. Even though people said that he hasn't, I think he has lost the dressing room. Him and Mo Salah just don't see eye to eye. And I think once you lose trust in your best, once you lose trust from your best player, other players are going to start to follow suit. And I also think the loss of Jota over last summer, I think has a huge impact in why this team is where they're at. So I just think there's a lot of things to take into consideration. Arne Slot has had a very tough job this season, but when you're trying to implement your own tactics into a team that has a certain way of playing for the past, 7-8 years, and you're trying to change it, and you didn't change anything last season, so why are you going to change anything now? Right? Because you have the grace of winning the Premier League? No, you guys were supposed to be challenging and possibly repeating as champions, especially with the money that you spent, right? So to be in 5th spot after spending over 500 million in the transfer window, Chelsea have spent over 2 billion and are in the same position they're in 4 years ago. So I'll take the criticism from those fans when they say, well, dude, you're a Chelsea fan. You shouldn't be saying stuff like that. I'm just speaking on what I've seen. And Liverpool fans were crushing Chelsea fans for the amount of money they've spent. But Liverpool has spent over 500 million and are sitting 5th in the Premier League and are only a point above a team that is in such a bad state of affairs that it's a disappointment that Liverpool are in 5th spot. They should be challenging with Arsenal and Man City for the Premier League right now. But they're not. And that has everything to do with Arne Slot trying to implement tactics and just wasting money, honestly, spending luxuriously rather than spending smartly. Ekitike was their best signing in the window. Florian Wirtz on PSG versus Liverpool. Of course, these are the games you want as a player. The ones I dreamed of when I came to this club. The Premier League is a tough league, and anyone can be anyone. Champions League is a different style. Yeah, the Champions League isn't the Premier League where there's not a lot of space being allotted to you. In the Champions League, it's definitely more open because you're playing against different styles in Europe, so you're going to see more open play. But in the Premier League, you're generally seeing not enough time on the ball. Spaces are being closed down a lot quicker, and the passages of play, are generally a little bit quicker than you do see in the Champions League. So he's right on that. We wanted to have a better season until now, but I think we're still in the Champions League, so some things to play for. Qualification for the Champions League too. Some goals. I mean, you need to score goals too, bro. Alexander Isak will not start tomorrow, says Arne Slot. I didn't take him to City as he wasn't able to get a performance he wasn't able to get a performance out of him. Now we can, but not to start. So it looks like Isak is on his way back. But I feel like it's too late. I think if I'm Isak, I'm looking at the World Cup squad. I'm not looking at this season anymore. I'm looking at I need to get ready for the World Cup. And I think a lot of the players that are dealing with injuries right now are looking at the World Cup rather than where they are in the season. And they should be. Yeah, he's officially back. He's officially back with the matchday squad. Yeah, I agree. How many goals is Mbappe scoring against Bayern Munich tonight? I think he scores a goal tonight. Yeah, Gary O'Neill not happy with the Barco. So, bro, welcome to Blue Co, bro. Spurs are top of the league. Interesting. It's only by a point, and we played one less game too. But I do like seeing how like the academy kids are doing because it is the future. And I keep saying we keep going into the market for these young players when you have an academy rich full of talent, homegrown talent at that. Do. Again, I want to thank everybody that's tuning in, watching, just checking out how I'm doing things here. Yeah, got about 5, 6. Yeah. Got a decent little audience here. I appreciate it, man. Our Blues team of the season nominees: Caicedo, João Pedro, Reece James, Cucurella, and Enzo. I'll be really. I mean, like these are the players that would be on there, that should be on there. So I agree. %84% for a team that's never won the Champions League. Arsenal are 84%. They have 84% chance of advancing to the semifinals. I don't know, man. I don't agree with that. I think they're in a world of trouble, bro. I think they're in a world of trouble, bro. Just want to take a look at something. I guess together, I mean, I ain't going to get copyrighted for this, am I? I guess together we could probably watch one of these Eunice videos. I ain't going to lie. Let me go ahead and mute the music in the background. We'll go ahead and take a peek at this. I don't mind.
Get into the latest, and this is a weird one. This is well, it's not weird. Let's be honest. Are we surprised? No. You know, let's start telling the truth around here, shall we? Of course, we're not shocked to hear what I'm about to talk about. You guys can see it in the title. You know, we're acting like this is new. Anyway, we're going to dive in.
The audio.
Before we do, though, as you can see on screen, there's a nice offer for you guys if you want actual merchandise that is going to benefit you both financially and
guys,
also keep up in terms of quality without having to go to the mega store or anything to do with the club, right? And on top of that, if you want anything else, it's all there. Make sure you hit the QR code if you want to scan that, or go to okjersey.com, and on there you will have some very, very valuable options in terms of how low the price actually is. We're talking close to 15 quid, right? Great alternatives, and just to give you guys the context, because some people think there's some link to the club or the actual manufacturer. 0506. We've even got the 90s, the late 90s, auto glass. We've got the Commodore, if I'm not mistaken. We've also got 1981 to 83, if you want to go and have a Butcher's on there, as well as all the training stuff that's on there too. If you're talking in terms of matching the official quality, you can't get a better place than okjersey.com while keeping your value for money. And on top of that, use discount code YTC for an extra 8% off. It's absolutely worth it, as far as I'm concerned. So go over there and put in that discount code at the end of your order, or just scan the QR code. You'll have that done for you, and make sure you use YTC and you'll be good to go. Thank you all so much. Enjoy. Shall we get into the latest? All right, I'll be honest. I'm not shocked we're going to talk about this, but I'm also surprised that it took this amount of time. I thought it would be a bit longer. Not this quickly, right? But I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked. Anyway, it's not like we've not seen it before. Let's get into it. Here's the latest on Garnacho. According to Goal, Chelsea are ready to sell Garnacho less than a year after his desperate move from Man United. The Blues are reportedly already looking to cash in on the winger. We have this. Garnacho could be sold by Chelsea just months after signing. The Blues are reportedly considering selling the Argentine winger just months after signing him from Manchester United. Now, this has come from Goal, specifically from Goal, and the source is Simon Phillips, right? Where apparently Garnacho is up for sale. Not that Chelsea are actively looking to sell him, but if something comes in, they're going to entertain it, apparently. Now, let me be objective with this, okay? I absolutely would entertain selling Garnacho, right?
You should.
Should Garnacho have even got here in the first place? No. I'll be honest, personally, I had slightly higher hopes for Garnacho in terms of impact as a winger. He's disappointed me big time, right? I thought at least, you see what we've seen with Garnacho so far, right? I expected that. But I also expected some end product. Not perfect, but I expected some. I thought he would actually be able to dribble past people. That was my problem. I thought, you know what? Okay, look, he's not brilliant, but he's quick, and he likes to take a risk, which is great, because we've been complaining about wingers that don't like to take a risk, right? AKA Sancho. And I'm like, all right, well, if he can just do that, and surely have a couple of times work out for him, get past some players and cause some havoc, then great. He's going to be able to score a few goals, no? That's kind of what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting worldy performances. I knew it would be average, but I was actually expecting, you know, slightly above average. He's not even been below average. He's been poor. He's stunk up the place, right? He stunk up the place. Had a bright start for a couple of games and then tanked off a cliff. That's what we saw. So,
yeah, bro, I appreciate
looking at it now, of course, would I sell?
The follow. I appreciate the support. I'm not really.
But it goes back to that point.
Games right now, mainly because I don't have the setup for it.
Why are we selling him?
But
we're selling him. Why did we get him in the first place? We got him in the first place because he was a market opportunity.
Or I'm like streaming games too.
Market opportunity.
So it's an idea.
Not the best winger for us to have in order to enhance the football team. No. Market opportunity. Well, there you go. That's why it's a market opportunity, because now we're going to be looking to sell him. And you best believe Garnacho, yeah, we'll make a profit. We bought him in for what? 35 mil. After using him for 1 year, I reckon we can sell him for 40. He's been playing. He's been active. And you know what that means? That means a little bit of profit. In terms of the books, and in terms of even just selling him for slightly more than we got him, that's already profit. Now, if we add book value on top of that, we're actually getting... It's not mind-blowing, life-changing money for the club, but it's profit. And you know what else we got? Quenda is coming in, isn't he? Now, albeit Quenda is a right winger. But what does that mean? That means what we've got on the right can shift over to the left. We've got room to sell one winger, which is going to be Garnacho. Gittins has not been playing. Gittins we can't sell. We paid too much. He's not been playing. He's not got the value. He needs to play. He actually needs to have a run like Garnacho has had, and then he'll be flogged. Because let's be honest, Gittins is probably worse than Garnacho. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Do you see what we've already seen? The summer window is not even here, and what we are already seeing. Barco is coming in. We've got a bunch of young lads we've already got deals done for via Strasbourg or / Quenda. We're looking to get rid of players that we've only just brought in, like Garnacho. What, like we've not done that before? Renato Vega, Madueke. The list goes on. Do you see what's going on here? It's the same flipping cycle. This is the model.
Frustration because he was playing at left back and he wanted to play.
And it's not going anywhere. And now we're at a point, theoretically, it can't go anywhere. These owners have put themselves into a corner. Well, this is all they've got in order to get revenue, especially if we miss out on Champions League football. That's it. We are an enhanced, steroid-taking version of Brighton. Yeah. You know, stick all the TRT, stick all the flipping enhancements, stick all the growth hormones, stick it all in there, combine it into one cocktail, gulp it down in one go, and do what Brighton do, you get Chelsea. Or you get CFCLDN, Blue Co. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, but I would not be shocked if Garnacho is now sold. I wouldn't be shocked. It's amazing how footballers can come into a club, play for like, 9-10 months, get flogged, and that's okay. I mean, that's ridiculous. It's why are you getting them in the first place? Do you know what I mean?
Why are you buying players like
Footballers should be brought in with you knowing you have the vision that this is the guy that we're going to go with for the long run. And if it doesn't work out, it maybe doesn't work out for 1, 2, or 3 players. It doesn't work out for the majority of the flipping squad because that's what we're doing. It's crazy. Every single time we get round to it, we're flogging an entire army in the same way we're bringing in an entire army. And that army gets flogged the very next year. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. And it's not going to change. So you know what? If you want it to change, Blue Co out, please. Right. Your model, everything you bring, your companies, Clearlake, your investors, Bowley, Guggenheim, Eldridge, the Flip It, all of you... I swear, you know what? We're going to have to start Gordon Ramsay up in here. We're going to have to start Gordon Ramsay in it.
Out.
Get out! You. Get out! That's it. Get out, bruv. Get out. Give me your apron and off.
I mean, right. I mean, honestly, guys.
So now we're going to have carrots and we're going to have... You know what? We might have to have a Gordon Ramsay counter for the amount of times we say get out. We might have to bring that in now as well. Look, we've turned into a meme. Let's be honest. Yeah, we are a football club or a joke. So you know what? We might as well make these videos entertaining. You know, at least for your viewing pleasure. And for my sanity, as I'm seeing a flipping box up in the air. It's bloody windy out there, but I swear down there's cardboard flying up in the air. It's huge as well. I've got construction not far from me, so I've just seen it like go, oh my God, flipping out. Hope that doesn't hit anyone on the flipping lid. Anyway, that's Garnacho. Let me know your thoughts down below. I wanted to wrap up on this because this is a development that kind of concerns us. It should concern us. Well, technically it doesn't, but anyway. Here's the latest on Roman Abramovich. A new charitable foundation aimed at breaking the deadlock between Roman Abramovich and the UK government over the frozen £2.35 billion from the sale of Chelsea has formally submitted its application to the UK Charity Commission. Now, this is interesting. This is interesting, as I'm going to look up, as you can see here, in relation to, we've got a post here. This is from Roman, if I'm not mistaken, because we've seen this. Yeah, this is from Roman. We've got Fabrizio that's spoken about it on Facebook as well, and I can only read it out because I've not got the screenshot for this one. It doesn't fit. Roman Abramovich is preparing to challenge the UK government in a bid to unlock the 2.3 billion generated from the sale of Chelsea in 2022. The former owner wants to create a new charitable foundation to distribute the funds globally, but the UK government maintains the money can only be used for Ukraine, leaving it frozen in UK accounts for now. So basically, that's exactly what's gone down. This charitable foundation that has formally been submitted to the UK Charity Commission. I'm guessing the UK Charity Commission is not tied to the government. Let me just have a little butcher.
Imagine, right?
It shouldn't, or is it? Oh no, it is. All right, good luck with that, Roman.
I mean, I imagine that's why he's trying to do it, right?
The charity commission,
money outside of the UK control.
I think
I mean, people want to talk about the US government, but the UK government.
The Charity Commission for England and Wales is the statutory regulator of registered charities. Yeah, that's government.
Let me know if I'm
good
wrong,
luck, Roman. I don't think they're going to grant you it. I don't think they're going to grant you it. I'll be shocked. I'll be shocked. Because in this instance, if for a charity and a foundation at that point, if Roman has control of the money, he would then be free to distribute it as he pleases, and he wants to be able to distribute it to both sides of the war, in terms of the Ukrainian victims and the Russian victims. And the UK government are adamant that no, this money is going only to Ukraine and Ukraine only, and we know it's probably not going to go to the flipping victims anyway. It's probably going to go straight into Zelensky's pockets. But anyway, we'll see what happens. You get the gist. I mean, it's still stuck in a bank account now. Do you know what I mean? It's like we've seen what's going on in the Middle East right now. Zelensky's done business by selling flipping anti-drone drones, basically, I think it was, over to the Middle East in order to help them with what's going on right now in the region. I mean, we've passed the point. Do you know what I mean? It's past the point. Victims needed this at the time when it was going flipping crazy. I would think that the fact that the money still sat there collecting interest and doing nothing is a crime. It really is a crime. But then again, what do we expect? So that's that. Roman's done that. We'll see what's going to happen. Any updates, and we'll bring it to you. There's a false rumor going around. I hate when people do this because don't get me wrong, I'd take this in a heartbeat. But there's someone that created a flipping rumor on X, and it's doing the rounds. If you read it, it's not true. Roman's son is looking to buy Chelsea back for $5 billion.
I covered that earlier.
Like it's not true. It's not true. I would take that tomorrow. Believe me. If there's one person, on the planet that would immediately sanction that over in a 5-minute move, I would do it, right? But it's false. It's not true. So if you see it, just go past it. It's false information. Hopefully it comes true one day. Right now, it's not true. So just thought I'd let you know. Unfortunately. Let me know your thoughts down below. Much appreciated. Subscribe, notification bell on. Later on tonight on Eunice Talks Football, link in the description, we are doing the Champions League quarterfinals. So make sure you're there. Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Sporting Lisbon versus Arsenal. We will be watching and we'll see exactly how it's all going to go down. Arsenal have been training with pens.
Yeah, man.
Literally doing these sort of exercises. I mean, don't ask. Don't ask. Let's see what happens.
Mentality's in the bin at Arsenal, bro. Mentality is in the freaking bin over there, man. But with that being said, guys, I'm gonna get on out of here. I've been streaming now, I think, for close to 2 hours, a little over 2 hours, even though my Wi-Fi dropped a little bit. But I gotta go get my daughter at 2:00 at the school program she's in for the week because she's out of school. So yeah, with that being said, I'm Jason. I have my socials. They've been linked at the bottom of the stream the entire time. Follow me on X, follow me on, sub to me on YouTube, follow me on Twitch. I stream just about every single day for about a couple hours, depending on if I work or not, or if I'm off of work. I usually do it for a little bit longer than 2 hours, but yeah. With that being said, guys, I'm out of here. I'm going to get ready to watch this Champions League game. Everyone else, enjoy the rest of your fine April day, April evening, April night, wherever you're watching. Keep the blue flag flying high, blue coat out, and up the Chelsea. And I'll see you guys later on in the day, probably for another stream maybe, or maybe I'll just have some shorts uploaded to get myself in the algorithm a bit more. But yeah, I'm out. I'm Jason, No Filter Chelsea. Follow me on all the socials, and I'll